Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. This is my first impressions. This is how I feel about the game in the beta test phase right at the moment. This is one of two tests and the other test is first thing next year. This one's lasting until December the 12th for those of you who have actually pre-ordered the game. So the game comes with two options for you to play. You can play the prologue for the Battle of Cadia, and you can also play the multiplayer aspect as well. Now, in this area of the campaign, we do have options for the Imperium, the Necrons, and the Tyranids, but you cannot play this since this is only the test phase, and obviously these are going to be out when the full game is relaunched. But you can play the Imperial campaign, a Necron campaign, and a Tyranid campaign. So for those of you guys who've always been saying that, oh, I'm really sick of playing Imperium all the time, you do have options to play the Xenos races in this game. Also, just to add to that, you can play these in co-op mode, so you and a friend can jump in, control ships on the same map, and purge together as good old friends. Now, if we move over to the multiplayer area, this, for me, is where the fun begins. Because as you can see, you have a ton of options to pick from. You have the Imperium, you have the Adeptus Astartes, you have the Adeptus Mechanicus, Chaos, Corsair fleets, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Orcs, Necrons, Tyranids, Tau Protector fleets, and the Tau Merchant fleets. Within this, you have sub-factions under each of these races as well. So, for example, if I stay on the Imperium, I can have Battlefleet Gothic, Solar, Armageddon, Bacca, Bastion, and Cronus. The Adeptus Astartes, you've got Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Imperial Fist, Iron Hands, Raven Guard, Salamanders, Space Wolves, and White Scars. The same with Chaos as well. You got Alpha Legion, Red Corsairs, Black Legion, Death Guard, Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, Lost and the Damned, the Night Lords, the Thousand Sons, the Word Bearers, and the World Eaters. And all these races have all the different options for this as well. So you can go in and play some of your fan favorites. There isn't stuff like Black Templars or anything like that. I know a lot of people said, hey, Valrak, is a Black Templar? I want to play with the Eternal Crusader and all that kind of stuff. No, that is not in yet. And when it comes to multiplayer games, you can't actually play with the big ships. For example, the Phalanx is in this game, but you can't take the Phalanx in multiplayer. I know that is a massive shame. Hopefully the developers will make a game mode like that so we can bring in the Phalanx, fight with the Phalanx, the Vengeful Spirit, the Macrag's Honor, the Eternal Crusader, something massive, something epic, so we can experience void combat with these massive beasts versus your friends. Now, there's also changes to the way you select your skills for your fleets. Before, in Battlefleet Gothic Armada 1, you basically picked a ship, you gave it an upgrade, and that ship stuck with that upgrade unless you scrapped it in and you put another upgrade in it, would cost you points. That is all changed now. So what happens now, you have two options. You have your Admiral ship skills, and you have the rest of your fleet ship skills as well. So if I can put this in the most easiest terms, you on your Admiral ship, you can select two options to have. So for example, say I want to put the Stasis Bomb and I want to put a Distribution Bomb on my Admiral ship. That is now located over there. And for the other fleet, say I want to increase the range, so I'm going to increase the range there. And maybe I like to ram. I love to ram. I love to break ships apart. So I'm going to pick the ramming upgrade, which is ramming damage is increased by 50%. And that now affects my entire fleet. Again, this is the same with every race and stuff like that in the game. You can select all the different upgrades you want and, just mess around and play with different builds with more ease. Let's say you don't have to really invest into skills and all that kind of stuff. These unlock the higher you go, so the more levels you get with a certain race in multiplayer, then they unlock. You have to unlock these via rank games, by the way. These you can't unlock these when it comes to skirmish mode. If you actually click skirmish mode, you can see there it doesn't really unlock. I would like the option from developers that if you're actually playing skirmish mode, then these just unlock, because you're really not hurting anyone. It's not ranked, it's not going to be added to anything like that. So maybe the skirmish mode is kind of like a practice to play around with these, and then it gives you something to aim for then when you actually do these ranked actual games. Now, once you've selected all your skills, it's time to jump in and it's time to purge in the Emperor's name. But first, you need to select your fleet. So if you go down to here, for example, I've clicked 1 versus 1. You do have different options. So the 2 versus 2, the fleets are smaller because obviously there's 4 fleets altogether. So I'm just going to go with 1 versus 1 at the moment. And at the moment, there's some pre-made fleets over here. Now I've already made mine called the Emperor's Purge. So if we just quickly go into this, and I'll show you what the details are, and this is where you can go in and make your own class of ships. I've gone for a full-on Avenger spam. Avengers are quite decent in this game at the moment, in the beta, in the testing stage. So I've gone with full-on Avenger spam, some Cobras and stuff like that for some scout ships and all that kind of fun. But you can go in, you can mix and match. For example, if I just take some of these off, you can go in and, you know, have a bunch of retributions if you want, like a full-on retribution force, all that kind of stuff. You can go in, you can lose yourself and just make fun fleets, serious fleets, power gaming fleets. Go in, lose yourself and just have fun. Now, when it comes to the multiplayer side of this game, I would like some improvements, especially so added to the community side of interaction. And what I mean by that is, if we take a look at the Dawn of War series, and when you go online and you play multiplayer games, you have a lobby area where to speak to people, you have an area to create public matches, an area to create private matches, people can see your game rooms, you can go in, change off the options, all that kind of stuff. This is what I would love the Battlefleet Gothic devs to bring over to their game. Give us that community kind of sense where we can go in, speak to each other, have a good old laugh, start games and talk to each other, all that kind of stuff. At the moment, it's basically you just invite your friend in and you just randomly 2 versus 2 v someone, or you know, you're 1 versus 1 that guy. There's just no interaction. So if they could bring something like that over, I think it'd be really, really cool. And personally, I think it would bring more longevity to the game, because when these kind of games go through a process of players going away from them, it's that small hardcore bit of community that keep the game going. Just look at the Dawn of War series now. Even though those games are so old, they still have a core fan base because of the community interaction in those games. Now, another feature I would absolutely love for this game is battle replays. I cannot for the life of me understand why a game like this, which is RTS, there's all these maneuvers, all these purging, doesn't have the option to save your game. Imagine it. You go against this massive, let's say, orc force, you had no chance of winning, you turn it around, you purge it, you smite it from the stars, and no one is ever going to know about it. In the Dawn of War series, we had that option to save our battle replays so we could show people the battles we had, you know, these amazing turn of the moment games, maybe new tactics, all that kind of stuff, just to show people, learn tricks and all that awesome stuff. We don't have the option in this game for that. So if the developers can add that somewhere down the line, I think the community would greatly welcome it. And adding on to that, Spectator Mode. Come on now, devs. Give me Spectator Mode. If there's one thing that I absolutely love, is watching people battle. Now, for those of you who've been watching my live streams of the Dawn of War commentary battles, you'll understand when I do a live stream, all these people are either on my stream or just random people jump into the game, they start fighting, and I commentate, and we can all watch it together and have a fun experience of watching these awesome people bringing their awesome strategies and battling and purging each other. I think, again, this option would be fantastic for Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, because you have the RTS element, you have like a grander kind of show to show off to people watching this spectacle of battle and purging in the stars. Now, since this is a beta, there is a ton of balance issues at the moment. One of the most worst ones I've witnessed, and I've actually taken a part in. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I'm absolutely enjoying it, but I know it has to be fixed, and it will be fixed. Is the starburst mechanic from the Necrons. You basically equip this ability on your ships. You teleport your ship in, and you just explode it and watch the fleet just disappear within seconds.
Moving.
I'm being identified.
Inferior
Are we ready?
vessel sighted.
Are we ready?
Motive units fully engaged.
Fuck everyone around here! Fuck you all! Fuck you all! He's fucking pleased to the bed! Holy shit! How fucking broken is that? How broken?
The enemy has
Holy
seized the
shit!
strategic area.
But that's all a part of the process at the moment, so stuff like that I'm definitely going to be sending over to developers, so when the game does finally hit, you know, these kind of mechanics are not present in the game when they're going to make people rage and quit and all that kind of stuff. This is what it's all about, testing the game, getting it perfect, showing these kind of balance issues which just shouldn't be there. All in all, I'm having absolutely a ton of fun with Battlefleet Gothic Armada. The new skill system I actually thought would be a bit of a pain, but I'm actually enjoying it more than actually leveling up all my stuff. I actually do think it's made it a little bit more easier. There's certain stuff like auto selecting abilities which is not being pushed over, and what I mean by that is, like, for example, if you take boarding torpedoes, you could use to just right click on them and they basically keep firing and firing and firing until you either lose that ship or you win the game and stuff like that. That's been taken out now, so you have to really micromanage your ships a lot more, so maybe that could be looked at a bit more, because I know going into this game, the developers wanted it to be a little bit more easier than the previous game, but I think since they've increased the battle size, there's more ships, there's more glorious purging, which I'm not arguing against, I love it, but that means there's more micromanagement added to the game, so it does make it more difficult for people who are not used to playing these type of games. So I don't know what everyone else feels about that. That's my personal feedback. I would personally like the auto abilities to come back in, but again, that's just me. The cinematics have vastly improved. The sound effects, the visual effects, they're all just surpassing everything I thought this game would be. So I think the game's definitely on track next year to be the probably biggest 40k game, and it's coming out right at the start of the year, so whatever comes after it has to make a pretty big statement to surpass Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's only a short one. This is just my first impressions. Once the full game's out and we see everything in action, then I can do a longer video and give a bigger take on it and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully show off some of the more of the campaigns, the Tyranids and the Necron campaigns, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it once again. See you now and enjoy the rest of your day. See ya and bye-bye.